Let's just jump right into this explainer, because this is wild. Every single night, without fail, your brain shifts into a mode that is so bizarre, if it happened during the day, people would literally think you lost your mind. I mean, you're hallucinating people who aren't there, visiting totally made-up places, maybe you're flying or, showing up to a high school math exam in your underwear. And yet, we just shrug it off as normal. We call it dreaming. Most of us are just helplessly along for the ride in this nightly movie. But what if you could actually wake up inside that madness? Well, today, we're exploring a proven, scientific method to do exactly that, the mild technique.
So here's our roadmap for the explainer. First, we'll cover waking inside a dream. Then dive into the neuroscience of lucidity. After that, we'll look at the engine making this work, perspective memory. Then, mastering the MILD technique itself, supercharging it with the wake back to bed method. And finally, looking at the future of conscious sleep.
All right, part 1, waking inside a dream, the nightly mystery.
Just imagine this for a second. What if your mind suddenly woke up, but your physical body stayed fast asleep in your bed? That right there is the absolute core of a lucid dream. A lucid dreamer is really just someone whose conscious awareness randomly switches back on right in the middle of a dream. And when that switch flips, the entire experience transforms. You go from being a completely helpless passenger stuck watching a movie to literally becoming the author, the director, and the star of your own nightly cinema. You know you're dreaming while it's happening.
And hey, this isn't just some modern internet fad. We humans have been doing this for thousands of years. We're talking mentions in the ancient Indian Upanishads way back around 1000 BCE and deep practices in Tibetan dream yoga. Even Aristotle was writing about it in 384 BCE, and Descartes chimed in during the 17th century. But it wasn't until 1980 that a researcher named Stephen LaBerge actually definitively proved it was real. He did this in a Stanford sleep lab using pre-agreed eye movement signals while he was actively dreaming. Pretty incredible, right?
But what's truly astonishing here is the sheer scale of this phenomenon. A massive meta-analysis actually found that 55% of all people have experienced at least one lucid dream in their lifetime. That means more than half of humanity has woken up inside a dream. But, for most of us, it's just this random, accidental thing. The technique Stephen LaBerge developed, the mild technique, well, it takes that random accident and turns it into a repeatable, completely masterable skill.
Moving right along to section 2, the neuroscience of lucidity, or what's going on inside the brain.
So what's really crucial here is understanding the physical difference between these two states. In a normal dreaming brain, your dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, that's the part right behind your forehead that handles logic and critical thinking, it's largely totally offline. That is exactly why you can accept talking animals or, flying as completely normal. But in a lucid dreaming brain, that logic center actually reawakens. So your brain is still generating the wild dream, but your logic is back online, and it's accompanied by this distinctive surge in 40 Hz gamma waves, which are strongly tied to conscious awareness. Basically, you're running two totally different brain modes at the exact same time.
And this reawakening brings us to a super vital concept called metacognition. Simply put, it's the ability to monitor and evaluate your own experience. Basically, thinking about your own thinking. What's mind-blowing is a 2015 study showed that people who frequently have lucid dreams actually have greater gray matter volume in their frontopolar cortex. So practicing these techniques, it doesn't just make your dreams cooler, it literally physically develops the metacognitive neural networks in your actual brain.
Okay, section 3, the engine. Let's talk about perspective memory, the underlying mechanism of mild.
The technique we are focusing on is MILD, which stands for a Mnemonic Induction of Lucid Dreams. And as the creator Stephen LaBerge explained it, this whole thing relies entirely on a very specific brain function called prospective memory. Now, retrospective memory is remembering the past, like what you had for breakfast. But prospective memory, that's remembering to perform a future action when a specific moment or condition finally arrives.
To really get this, let's just use a sticky note analogy. Imagine you have a coffee date tomorrow. You might slap a note on your fridge that says, "When you smell coffee, remember the appointment." The smell of coffee is an event-based trigger. Mild uses this exact same mechanism. It's like leaving a mental sticky note to remember your appointment with lucidity. But instead of coffee, your triggers are the weird, impossible events in your dreams, like suddenly flying or being back in your high school hallways. The absolute weirdness of the dream itself becomes the trigger that fires your perspective memory, reminding you to suddenly stop and question your reality.
Section 4. Mastering the mild technique. Here is your step-by-step guide. The core practice comes down to 4 interconnected steps. First off, you absolutely must keep a dream journal.
Dream memories are super fragile, easily wiped out by morning thoughts, so you gotta capture them the exact second you wake up. Second, by reviewing that journal, you'll start to identify your personal dream signs. Those are the recurring, impossible things that are totally unique to your own dreams. Third, right as you're falling asleep, vividly visualize yourself back in a recent dream and imagine yourself recognizing one of those specific dream signs. And fourth, you set a firm intention. You literally repeat a phrase like, "The next time I am dreaming, I will remember that I am dreaming." And you have to really feel the genuine emotional weight of that commitment.
Now, to support all this, you need to build a habit of metacognition during your waking hours using reality checks. People do things like counting their fingers, trying to read shifting text, or flicking light switches that just refuse to work in the dream world. But honestly, the most reliable one is the nose pinch test. Think about it. In waking life, if you pinch your nose tightly, you can't breathe in, right? But because your physical body sleeping in bed is completely separate from your dream body, if you do this inside a dream, you'll actually be able to breathe right through your pinched fingers. It's wild. If you practice this during the day whenever you see something strange, that habit will eventually carry straight over into your sleep, triggering that lucidity.
That visualization step we talked about, it's essentially a mental relay race. By vividly imagining yourself becoming lucid right as you're drifting off, you're firing up your prefrontal cortex and those metacognitive systems. You're literally warming up the exact neural circuits you need, carrying that momentum into sleep and handing the baton of awareness directly to your sleeping brain right before those waking systems completely shut down.
Which brings us to section 5, the wake back to bed. This is how you supercharge mild.
Here's the thing. If you only practice mild when you first go to sleep at night, you are fighting a massive uphill battle. Why? Because vivid dreaming happens during REM sleep, and your longest, most intense REM cycles happen in the early morning hours. So to really maximize your chances, you need to set an alarm for exactly 4.5 to 6 hours after you fall asleep. This perfectly times it so you wake up right before your brain dives into those massive, dream-rich morning REM cycles.
Timing is truly everything here. There was this landmark study by Dr. Denholm Aspie, and it showed that when people used mild by itself, the success rate was okay, but on the lower side. But when they combined mild with this wake back to bed method, specifically staying awake for about 20 to 60 minutes to practice mild, and then falling back asleep within 5 minutes, the success rate absolutely skyrocketed to 54%. That means more than half the time, just regular people were successfully waking up inside their dreams.
Finally, section 6, the future of conscious sleep and its real-world applications.
Because honestly, the applications go way, way beyond just flying around like a superhero for fun. Clinicians are actually using lucid dreaming right now to treat chronic PTSD nightmares. By becoming lucid, patients can safely rewrite the terrifying endings of their dreams in real time. It's also being used for totally safe phobia exposure therapy and even physical skill rehearsal. Seriously, studies show that athletes who practice a specific motor sequence while inside a lucid dream experience real-world waking improvements. Why? Because the brain is running a highly realistic, full sensory simulation. It's even providing profound emotional closure for people who are processing grief.
And we're really just scratching the surface, especially as new technology enters the space. Just look at this 2024 study out of Northwestern University. They combine the mild pre-sleep training with smartphone sleep tracking apps that actually deliver specific audio cues while the user is deeply asleep. This method, called targeted lucidity reactivation, boosted participants' lucid dreams to an amazing average of 2.11 per week. We are literally entering an era where cognitive techniques and wearable tech are seamlessly integrating. It's like something out of sci-fi.
All of which leaves us with one final, pretty provocative question. Where will you go tonight? You now understand the science behind it all. You know that over half the population has experienced this naturally, and you now have the exact step-by-step mild technique to turn it into a repeatable skill. The door to your own mind is waiting, and tonight, you actually have the tools to knock on it from the inside.